Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the penultimate round of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine from a very sunny Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. Much different conditions to what we had at the Red Bull Ring just a couple of weeks ago. My name is Chris McCarthy. A warm welcome to you all, or shall we say it could be a very warm welcome to you all. The temperatures still rising here this morning here in Barcelona. It was a very hot day for the drivers throughout the collective tests yesterday, and it's expected to be similar conditions, particularly for racing. Tomorrow we should see temperatures rising throughout the day, but for this morning a little bit cooler for the drivers as we kick off with our first qualifying session, this to set the grid for the first race of the weekend. We really are into the business end of the season now, and with that we could be crowning some champions this weekend. We'll get into that. First of all, let's talk you through what we are going through in this session. We have qualifying Group A out on track first of all. Two qualifying groups if you are new to Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. We have so many drivers out there in total that we split the drivers into two groups, Group A and Group B. This is done before the weekend. It's done by championship position, so the drivers on the odd numbers in the championship, so first, third, fifth, so on, go into Group A. The drivers out on track now, and the rest of the drivers go into Group B. The Group A drivers are going to go out first today. Group B will go out second, and that will reverse for tomorrow's qualifying session, which will set the grid for race 2. We will do this process all again tomorrow. Once we've had both groups, we will have the quickest group form the inside row of the grid. The slower group will form the outside row of the grid. That's essentially how things are going to work. And we will see them go out on track now to go and basically fight for what row of the grid they were going to start on. Very good for championship leader Rafa Kamara in terms of collective tests yesterday. He was quickest in both sessions. He did a quickest time of a 1:36.938 in the second collective test yesterday. Brando Badua was second place. Off the back of his best results of the season, Matteo De Paolo, third place of what was a historic weekend for Santalok Racing. They took their first win with Teofil Nile. He was third. James Wharton, fourth place in that second collective test. A winner, of course, for what was another time there. We can see his teammate Rafa Kamara. Alessandro Giusti was fifth. The aforementioned Teofil Nile was sixth. Enzo Peugeot, who gained 16 places in that second race at the Red Bull Ring, was seventh. Tuka Tapanen was eighth. Ugo Ukachukwu was ninth. Nico Lacorte was 10th. So let's talk a little bit about the championship. We're going through a bit of a tyre warming and brake warming phase currently for the drivers. They tend to do this for around 3 laps or so before we really see the flying laps come in. That gives you a bit of a benchmark as to what times we're looking at. Those times may drop. We did just have the Italian F4 drivers out on track doing their qualifying session, and speaking to some of the drivers after the session, they did say definitely a little bit tougher out on track than what it was yesterday, with temperatures a little bit cooler. In terms of the situation, well, no changes at the top in terms of our top two in terms of championship. Rafa Kamara and Tuka Tapanen both didn't score. An unusual situation for those two, with disappointing, unfortunate weekends, really a little bit out of character, if you like, for both of them. It was a very unusual weekend in many ways, an entertaining weekend like that, and we saw the likes of Teofil Nile pounce on that with a fantastic drive from him. But Rafa Kamara, for the first time this season, scored no points at all throughout the weekend. 239 he remains on. Tuka Tapanen in similar fashion, scoring no points for the first time this season, so he remained on 178 points, was unable to take advantage of a non-scoring Rafa Kamara. That leaves the gap at 61 points, meaning Rafa Kamara theoretically could wrap up the championship today if he's to extend that gap to 76 points. Brando Badua, James Wharton and Sandro Giusti are now the only other drivers mathematically in contention for the championship, but they all must score points today, and given their form, we'd expect them to do that. Where it gets very close in terms of championship is certainly in the rookies. 43 points between the top 5. Noah Stromsted with his pole position. He didn't score points for that, but it put him in a good position to go and get the podium he would go and then do. He now leads the rookie championship by 15 points ahead of Evan Gilter. 24 back is Pedro Clero. 26 back is Ivan Dominguez. Enzo Deligny is then 43 back. And then in the team's championship, Prema Racing could wrap up the championship this weekend. There are 129 points of R-Race GP who need to score to keep that alive. Van Amersfoort need to do a similar thing. They're over 120 points back as well. And then ART are 160, over 160 points back in that team's championship. We'll follow in terms of championship and how it plays out throughout. We will see once we have a grid whether it's likely those situations could play out. First of all, we need a set of grid, don't we? And looks like we are in the process of getting some flying laps on the board. So let's focus on that for the time being. We have 2 new drivers, one new, one returning. Welcome back to Enzo Scionti and a welcome to Jet Bowling. Enzo Scionti raced with us last year with the Monolith racing team. He's now returned with Kick Motorsport. Great to have him back, and we'll see his compatriot, his American compatriot, Jet Bowling, out in the next session. Okay, here we can see Rafa Kamara making his way round. He's just put a time on the board, 136.509. That a great benchmark for him. Zach David goes to second place, 136.8. Ivan Dominguez has gone third place. Ricky Liu has gone to fourth. Then it's Nikita Bedrin in fifth. Matteo De Paolo in sixth. That's just changed. Nikita Bedrin now P6. Then we go Enzo Scionti in eighth. Dorian Pan has gone to ninth. Roman Belinsky in 10th place. Giovanni Maschio now goes seventh. Changing all the time as Giusti comes up to P3. Matteo De Paolo ninth. Evan Gilter now goes to ninth. Looking further down though, Brando Badua has done a purple second sector. Looks like he's about to come over the line and possibly go towards the top, and does. P2 for Brando Badua there. What a time from him. Brando Badua now second place. Great time from Brando. Puts himself on what would be a second row start. So Brando Badua just 900ths back from Rafa Kamara, and now goes to the second row of the grid. Rafa Kamara in first place currently in this session. And then we have Brando Badua, Zach David in third, Giusti in fourth place, Roman Belinsky in fifth place, continuing what has been a great comeback from him. Then it's Valerio Rinicella. He scored points for the first time at the Red Bull Ring. Roman Andriolo made some great places in recent rounds. He is next along. Ivan Dominguez in that rookie title fight. Then it's Ricky Liu, Nikita Bedrin, Giovanni Maschio, Evan Gilter needs a good grid position for that rookie title fight. Matteo De Paolo, the returning Enzo Scionti, Yaroslav Veselau, Dorian Pan, who was recently on the podium at Singapore in F1 Academy. Round the final corner, this is Matteo De Paolo in the blue and white colours, making his way down the start-finish straight and over the line. Matteo De Paolo going for the next flyer. It looks like we've done a cool-down process, and now we're going for more flying laps. Rafa Kamara's gone purple through the first sector. Matteo De Paolo's gone a bit wide through the first corner. Possibly he was on the edge there, Matteo De Paolo. Just flirting with disaster, wasn't he there, Matteo De Paolo, starting his push lap. Let's watch him now through turn 4. Making his way up towards 5. Rafa Kamara is the driver to watch in this session, though. He's coming into the final 2 corners. the now very fast two right-handers. You can see him there using all the track limits through the final corner. Smooth as you like, Rafa Kamara straight up to the line. This is going to be very quick. It is 1:35.728 for Rafa Kamara. Over 8/10 clear from the rest of the field. Wow, that's the drive of a championship leader. That's the time of a championship leader. This was what we saw from Matteo De Paolo. You can see going in, it looked as if he'd possibly gone a little bit wide. He was using the curb, but I think just managed to hold on to it in the end. Really good stuff that we caught that one live. Zach David, we now catch up. Let's see what Matteo De Paolo is doing. He's gone personal best, personal best. Is he about to jump up? We'll find out. What we do know is Ivan Dominguez has gone fourth. That would be a top 10 start for him. Ricky Liu likewise. Brando Badua has gone personal best, Rinnicella into what would be a top 10 start now. He goes P5. Giusti in danger of a row 8 start here. Belinsky in danger of a row 9 start. Dominguez, P5. Zach David onto the second row of the grid. Zach David onto the second row. We've got Giusti onto the third row. Belinsky now goes row 3. What a time from the Trident driver. Brando Badua onto the second row. Great stuff from the Italian. Brando Badua onto the second row of the grid. 1.5 back from Rafa Kamara. Zach David is 4 back from Kamara and Badua, so he's just done that time and slotted in, it seems, in between Belinsky and Badua. Roman Andriolo as well. What a time from him. He's come across the line in the last few seconds, and he's gone to P6. This would be his best qualifying. Roman Andriolo going very well around here. This was where we did our first pre-season test. So this is one of the tracks the drivers will have had plenty of time around. One they would know from previous championships as well. Those, of course, who did this last season. And when we did come here, it was James Wharton who was fastest around this circuit when all the times were put together. Brando Badua was second. Third place was Noah Stromstead. Fourth was Enzo De Ligny. And finishing fifth was Pedro Clero. So Brando Badua, this isn't unusual for him to be very quick around here. Rafa Kamara wasn't quick on that test, but definitely focused on other tactics that day. Okay, let's focus on their times once more, because Kamara is going purple once again. So in Zach David, he's setting personal best sectors, so is Ricky Liu. Those are the 3 drivers that are improving. Everyone else is going to have one more chance to improve here. Matteo De Paolo out of position down in 13, given his recent form. Evan Gilter likewise. Returned to the podium last round did Evan Gilter. Let's see what he can do. Round the final corner, what can Rafa Kamara do? He has 1.5 over the rest of the field. He now has 4 over the rest of the field. Try and beat that, says Rafa Kamara. What a time. 1:35.468, and that will be that for him. It's over to you, the rest of the field. Can they now beat that? Well, Zach David, personal best first sector, personal best second, but it doesn't look quick enough to beat the rest, to beat the time of Kamara. It isn't. It's a 1:35.9. That keeps him third place for now. Roman Belinsky's going quicker, so is Giusti. Andriolo going very quickly in P6. One of the quickest through the first sector is Roman Andriolo. Let's see what he can do. Across the line, one of the Van Amersfoort cars comes now. That's Ivan Dominguez. He goes P6. There goes one of these Santilot cars across the line. That's Matteo De Paolo, goes to 11th. Nikita Bedrin goes to 9th. Looking out the window, here comes one of the MP cars. That was Valerio Rinnicella, will be P8. Now comes Giusti. Giusti up to the line next, and he goes P4. Now Yaroslav Veselau across the line next, still in 16th for the time being. Giovanni Maschio next across the line, up to P10. Brando Badua looks like he's about to cross the line, stays second. He did a purple last sector, but only was able to bring the gap down to 0.2 of a second. Jaroslav Veselau is across the line next, and he stays in 16th place. That looks to be that for everyone across the line, and it will be confirmed that Rafa Kamara is fastest in this group. And now it's over to the rest of the drivers in the next group to try and beat that time of a 1:35.468 from Rafa Kamara. What a time that was. Brando Badua on the last lap did a 1:35.754, brought it down to 0.286, pretty much halved what was the advantage that he had over Badua. Zach David was third, Roman Andriolo was fourth, and then it was Giusti. Got to say, big shout out there to Roman Andriolo. That's his best qualifying of the season, his first time in the top 10, and the top rookie. Let's go through it then. Rafa Kamara fastest in the group. He will be on the front row. It's going to be hard to take pole position away from him. Brando Badua second. He'll be directly behind Kamara, inside or outside. Zach David third, Roman Andriolo, big shout out. That's a huge step forward for him as a driver. In the top 10, the Frenchman, and another Frenchman behind him in Alessandro Giusti. Roman Bielinski just outside the top 10 when the groups are put together. Sixth in this group, Ivan Dominguez seventh, Valeria Rinicella eighth, Ricky Liu ninth, and then we had Maschio. Evan Gilter will be disappointed with 11th, but he's shown he can make places in recent rounds. Nikita Bedrin 12th. Matteo De Paolo won't be happy with 13th, given how well he went in the last round. It's difficult to overtake around this circuit as well, but let's see what he can do when the racing happens. Dorian Pan 14th, Enzo Scionti on his return 15th, and Jaroslav Veselau 16th. Well, that's the first group done, and we move to the next group very shortly. Group B will be out on the track next. All the cars for Group B getting ready to go. The Group A cars have been directed back towards the paddock and into Parc Fermé. So Group B will get ready to go next. Let's go through who's going to be in this one. We can see them out on track getting ready to go. We have Ugo Ugachukwu. Huangdat Soya is going to be in the number 6. Good to see him back. Noah Stromsted is going to lead them out onto the track as they now make their way onto the circuit. And here they come now onto the circuit for the first time as we go green. So Noah Stromsted in the 57. Tuukka Tappinen will be in the 8. Enzo Deligny fighting for the rookie title will be out there in the 23. The Red Bull Junior, the McLaren Junior, Ugo Ugachukwu will be in the 3. James Wharton in the 13. Marta Garcia, the Iron Dames driver, in the 19. Edgar Pierre in the 27. Race winner, the 21st race winner in the series, Teofil Nal in the 44. Enzo Peugeot in the 74. Nikhil Bora in the 47. Pedro Clero in the 22. Nandavud Bidambakti in the 29. Nico Lacorte in the number 7. Jet Bowling, a welcome to the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine in the 33. Kanato Lee in the 9. And a welcome back to Huangdat Soya. We've missed him for a couple of rounds, but the Vietnamese driver is back, and he will be in the number 6. And that gives us our 16 drivers for this group. So Kamara trying to get another pole position. He really is racking them up across his 2 seasons. He's taken 10 pole positions now. which is a record. Can he get an 11th? It's been a big thing for him, is qualifying. He has qualified in the top 10 every single race so far this season. And he went on a similar run last year as well. He did 17 top 10 qualifying positions consecutively. He's done 16, so that now becomes 17 for the season for Rafa Kamara. And that's really something that all the champions have gone on to do. We saw Sorsi do 19, Kimi Antonelli did 18, Dino Beganovic also did 18, and it's you can see the pattern. And Rafa Kamara doing similar things now, 17 in a row. And it's not just about getting in the top 10, it's about getting yourself in a good position. Let's see what the likes of Taponen can do here, James Wharton as well. They'll all be looking to try and steal that pole position away, but that's going to be tough. He was over 2.5 tenths clear from the rest of the field. There was Rafa Kamara in the first group that went out on the track. As Kwang Datsoya, welcome back to him. He made some good progress in terms of his personal form off the back of having to take a bit of a leave of absence from the series. So good to see him back with us now to pick up where he left off. Was pushing for some top 20 finishes, and in a field of over 30 drivers. It's good progress for a driver that's really new to all of this single-seater racing. Noah Stromstead, what can he do? It's been a superb form from him. Jumped into FIA Formula 3 for that season finale, and since that he's looked in really, really good form. But not just been that from Noah Stromstead, it's been the rookie wins he's taken throughout the season. He's got 7 rookie wins now, 6 of those coming this season. And that's been a big part of Noah Stromsted's campaign. It's been the 6 rookie wins that he's got. It's been the podiums that he's taken along the way, 4 podiums for him. And that's what's giving him a gap over the rest of the field in terms of the rookie title. Speaking to some of the drivers yesterday, particularly those leading rookies, that's something they're pushing for. Good to see Teofil Nile there in the 44. The Santalok Racing team did take the chance to celebrate that victory, and so they should have done before it was straight back to preparation for this round. A huge breakthrough result for them, having joined the series last year. They did get a podium last year with Esteban Masson, but this was a huge result to get the win in what was probably the most entertaining race we've had so far this season, I'd say, in the history of the championship, on a weekend where we celebrated 75 races of the championship, and at a very good time as well. We've got Franco Colapinto now racing in Formula 1. We've got Andrea Kimi Antonelli signed for next year. Isaac Hadjar has just become a reserve driver for Red Bull Racing. Zane Maloney has just signed for Formula E for next year as well, and a huge congratulations to him. Drivers fighting for Formula 2 titles, more in speculations of seats for next year. It's a huge time to celebrate for the championship, and with that, it was great to go out and get one of the most entertaining races. No doubt the drivers we watch on our screens now, wherever you watch from around the world, are drivers that will be in those conversations. Give it a couple of years, I have no doubt in my mind about that. Teofil Nile was the driver to go out and take that win with a new team, Santalok Racing. Huge breakthrough for him. He'll be excited for this. Spanish F4 champion, the reigning Spanish F4 champion. He'll be looking to pick up where he left off, and he got his elbows out in that race as well with this man here, Noah Stromstead. That defense on the last lap was superb. Controlled the race, drove like the champion he was last year in Spanish F4. More of the same, please, this weekend, guys. I think I speak on behalf of the audience when I say that. It's going to be absolutely great stuff. Right, let's get some times on the board then. Looks like we're going for the first flyers. If you're with us, we've had the first group, Group A, which contained our odd position drivers in the championship, if that makes sense. First, third and fifth. And the quickest time to come out of that was Rafa Kamara with a 1:35.468. If this group beats it, they form the inside row of the grid. That's essentially what we're looking at. Let's see if we can do that. The most likely to go quickest on this lap looks to be James Wharton. Purple, purple. So far, Sector 1, Sector 2, got to be careful of track limits. Through that penultimate corner, I think everyone was A-OK on that lap. Let's see as they come across the line. 1:36.015. Wow, what a time to get us started. James Wharton not holding back at all on this first lap. James Wharton going straight through it. 3 times a pole sitter this season. Goes for a cool down lap now, and he will be getting relayed that information. He is over 4.5 tenths clear from the rest of the field. Ugo Ugachukwu second, Enzo Peugeot third place. What could have been for him 2 weeks ago at Red Bull Ring. Tuka Tappinen fourth, Enzo Deligny fifth, Noah Stromsted P6, Pedro Claro seventh, Teofil Niall was eighth. That's now Tanan Davud Bidambakti. Edgar Pierre is now 11th. As Nico Lacorte's jumped into the top 10, so is Kanato Lee. Edgar Pierre 12th, Marta Garcia, Jet Bowling, Nicole Borda, Huangdat Soya is next. So James Wharton, over 4.5 tenths clear from the rest of the field. 1:36.015. Ugo Ugachukwu on your screen. Second, here he comes at the top of your screen now. And then it is Enzo Peugeot, the lead rookie in the session so far. That's currently how they form. Here we see RPM's Noah Stromsted on a cool-down lap before they go for it. Tuka Tappinen goes past commentary box window on your screen. Here he is, the number 8. He will want nothing less than pole position. All-out attack. Needs to find 1 second. Can he do it? The Ferrari Driver Academy member for RAce GP. Make their way around turns 3 and up towards 4. Tuka Tappinen coming in towards turn 5 now. Hard on the brakes here, downhill. Big gravel trap on the exit there. If you go a wheel wrong, if you get a lock up, got to be brave into there. Now we go downhill even further in towards 6. Carry the speed all the way through. Be careful of that sausage curb on the exit. And now got to get a good exit because it's a long rise up through 9. Blind entry into there. And now the run downhill through the long left-handed turn 10. Doesn't seem to end this section. You've got to set yourself up perfectly for the long round turn 12. Curb comes at you quickly through there. And now the very fast 2 right-handers. 13 and then 14. Let's hold on to it through here. Oh, there you go. You can see an exact example of that as now we go up to the start-finish line. 1:35.9. Well, that's a lot closer for Tuka Tappinen. That brings him to half a second back from Kamara. What does Wharton do? He's absolutely flying in the background. Could this be close enough? It should be enough to go fastest in this session. How about Kamara's time? He's got to go 1:35.4 to beat that 1:35.6. He's getting very close. Quickest in this group though, Wharton ahead of Tappinen. Ugachukwu third. We've got Enzo Peugeot going personal best, Claro likewise. Teofil Niall looks like he's about to go across the line, goes P7. Santalok driver heads across the line to go P7. Enzo Peugeot, his teammate, just went across the line and went P6. Huangdat Soya across the line to 14th. Nikhil Bora across the line to go 12th. Here comes Claro. He's going across the line now as I look out the window. He goes P5. And Nandavud Bidambakti is about to come across the line. He was 14th. He's 9th. Nico Lacorte about to come across the line, goes 8th. Kenato Lee takes that 8th place from him. Great stuff from him. And Jet Bowling comes across the line to go 15th place. I think that's everyone across the line on that lap. So let's reconvene and see where we are. James Wharton has done a 135.651. 2/10 would be enough from there to take him to overall pole position. For now, he would start on the front row alongside his teammate, Rafael Camara. Tuukka Tappinen would be on row 2. Ugo Ugachukwu row 3. Noah Stromsted would be row 4 alongside Roman Andriolo, who would be the lead rookie. We got more drivers coming across the line here. No improvements there from Enzo Deligny though. Pedro Claro would be inside the top 10, Deligny just outside it. Peugeot 7th, Kenato Lee 8th, then it's Nico Lacorte 9th, Teofil Nile 10th, Bidem Bakti, Garcia, Pierre, Border, Bowling, Sawyer. Okay, let's start the final flying laps of this first qualifying session. Here we go. 2/10 to find from James Wharton. Can he do it? Half a second to find from Tuukka Tappinen. He's going quicker. That's a personal best first sector. Makes his way now round turn 5 and down the run through 6 and into 7. This has got to be perfect from the young Finn. The rise up to 9. Nothing to lose here from Tuukka Tappinen. James Wharton's going quicker as well. That's the fastest we have seen. He's into the 28s through the first sector. Could this be enough from James Wharton to get another pole position for him? James Wharton trying to get his 4th pole position of the season. Tuukka Tappinen trying to go pole position. Round the final 2 corners, Tuukka Tappinen making his way towards the final corner now. He will be first to the line. Here he comes out the final corner. He's done everything he can. Personal best, will it be enough? 135.9, it isn't. What about James Wharton? This is looking very, very quick. It'll be a nervous watch from Rafa Camara because James Wharton looks like he's in a position to possibly steal pole position from him right at the end of the session. Across the line, one of the RPM drivers goes, but it's Wharton we're keeping an eye on because this could be enough to do it. It is. 135.458 right at the end of the session. James Wharton steals it from Rafa Camara there by 100th of a session, and James Wharton will go to overall pole position. What a time, and he knows it there. James Wharton takes overall pole position for race 1 just by 100th of a session. What a head-to-head bout we had there between Camara and Wharton. And Wharton it is who comes out on top. Fantastic driving from the Australian, and that should be a 4th pole position. There's still more drivers to come across the line. Let's take that into account. But unless anyone can find that much time, that was the moment he was delivered the news that was enough to put him onto overall pole position. It came down to 100th of a second exactly. There it is. 135.458 to Camara's 135.468. Wow. That will be a 4th pole position. Pedro Claro, Teofil Nile, Enzo Peugeot all across the line. No one else improving. And that looks to be that for the session. Congratulations to James Wharton. A superb final lap. Textbook stuff from the Australian. And that is the final result confirmed. This will be our inside row of the grid. On row 1, on pole position for the 4th time this season, will be James Wharton. Tuukka Tappinen will start directly behind him on row 2. Look at that gap to the right of screen between Wharton and Tappinen. It was just under half a second. 4 thousandths off being half a second. Ugo Ugachukwu, P3. Noah Stromsted will be the lead rookie in the session. He'll start alongside fellow rookie Roman Andriolo. Pedro Claro in the rookie title fight will start P9. Teofil Nile will start P6, will start on row 6. Enzo Peugeot row 7. Enzo Deligny on the inside of row 8. Kanato Lee will start on the inside of row 9. It'll be Nicola Corte row 10. Nan Davud Bilan Bakhti row 11. Nico Bora row 12. Marta Garcia will be on row 13. Edgar Pierre row 14. Jet Bowling row 15. And then Huang Datsoya 16th place in the session. What an end to the session. James Wharton taking pole position. Join us for the race later on when we go racing in at 3:05 local time. We will see you then.